Hi, it's Kane Hodder, Jason from Friday the 13th. You're watching Slash and Cast. Keep watching, or I'll kill you and your whole family.
What's going on, horror fans? Welcome to another episode of Slash and Cast. My name is Riley, that is Nick, and before we get things started, we officially are announcing our Xbox giveaway results. Ethan, who, you see him on the NW Project all the time, he's been working really close on our Gleam, has gone through over 23,000 entries, making sure everything is validated. He's exported all those, and he's got a winner for us. Bring it in, let's see it.
Thank you.
All right. And the winner of the Xbox One is... what's there's somebody doing? La La Land. La La Land. What? Okay, there's been a mistake. Dominic Dunhop, you're the winner, man. It's not a joke, seriously. Dominic Dunhop, where his entry of checking out our Friday the 13th fan film is...
You've won the Xbox One and a copy of Friday the 13th, the game.
All right.
All right.
All right. The facade's over. In all seriousness, Dominic Dunhop, you are the winner of the Xbox One S and the vertical stand and the copy of Friday the 13th, the game. Ethan, you walk by one more time. I know you want to get back over. Ethan will be in contact, and we'll get that shit out as soon as we can. Thank you guys for everyone that entered. We want to do more giveaways in the future, absolutely. Let us know if you want to see more giveaways in the future. Go to our website. There's a poll right now, yes or no, if you want to see more giveaways. We'll be giving away more copies of Friday the 13th, the game in the future. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun, though. It was a unique experience, a ton of entries.
Yeah.
Sorry that you had to go through all those, Ethan. But, a lot of fun. Congratulations, Dominic, on your Xbox One S. Now let's get this thing out of the way. Okay, now we're officially starting the episode of Slash Cast. Sorry about our fun little charade there. It seemed funny in our heads. Maybe it wasn't as funny as it came off. Of course, opening things up, it's good to be talking about Friday the 13th, the game again. Now, we have been dying all week to talk about the new ability that just came out. But first of all, before we get into that, we have to mention the fact that we do have an exclusive update that came directly from Wes Keltner that has not been publicly released at all, okay? And we will get to that after we discuss the stock ability. But yeah, here we go. Let's go into stock.
All right, so the new ability release is called Stalk, and it gives Jason the ultimate ability of silence and enhance hearing and detection.
Yeah, so Stalk allows the Jason player to both mute the music counselors, it mutes the music the counselors hear, okay? And then when Jason is near, and boosts Jason's hearing so he can pick up counselors' footsteps, opening drawers, doors, windows, etc. Now, first, you could find some counselors in a barricaded cabin, for example. You break a few windows, get out of sight, and then you activate Stalk, okay? And now the counselors all think that Jason is left.
Right. It's going to be great for jump scares. You go into a building and activate Stalk, and then a counselor can come in and have no idea you're there. It is the last ability they announced, and it replaces Rage because... Rage activates automatically now.
Yeah, not that Rage is gone. It's just Rage was the last one you get. It would be in your counselor slot at the top. Stalk has taken that, and Rage activates by itself on its own thing.
Right.
So technically, Jason has 5 abilities now, one of which you don't activate yourself.
Right.
Okay, so if you stand still, all right, if you don't move at all, all right, it'll last for approximately 3 minutes. Okay. Now, if you move around with Stalk activated, it reduces dramatically. Okay, so we're saying if you hit Stalk and you start walking. It'll burn out completely within 20 seconds.
Right, and the ability will instantly deactivate the moment a counselor sees Jason, and then they'll get hit with the Jason music again.
Yeah, so, you had to stay out of sight and, stay still. So, there's definitely strategic advantage, and it includes being talented with the skill as well, which is nice. Right. Now, the ability does indeed have limited range. Okay, now we talked about a few episodes ago about the netting process and how that builds and whatnot. You have a unique circle. Here's an example of that circle range you got. So that's where you hearing counselors and whatnot doing actions, you'll be able to hear them within that range. Okay. So this also comes with a visual change from perspective of Jason, adding a bit of a bluish hue to it. Okay. So this is what Jason looks like normally. This is what you would normally see. Okay, now once you activate stock, you instantly go into this bluish hue, which is, I think it's awesome looking.
Right.
I literally wish my screen looked like that all the time. So now it comes, since we're here at this point, we're talking about Jason, what it looks like. Let's discuss the HUD that we got here. Now, you may have missed some key things here. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner of this HUD, you will see a little symbol right here. Okay, now check this out. Look at this.
It looks like a bear trap symbol.
Yeah, this is different.
Right.
This is different.
And after talking with Wes personally, he said, confirmed, Jason has traps he can set around the environment to catch counselors, thus adding some more strategy to playing as Jason. He's never acknowledged it. He had it in his forum update.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for Wes for giving us that scoop there. It's really cool. It's basically what happens, counselors having the ability to, drop bear traps. Now Jason can do the same thing.
Right.
Now in the picture, Jason has a total of 5 traps. Now we're not sure if this is the total amount you can have. I'd imagine so. 5 seems about right. Which means he definitely could spread them across the map fairly effectively.
Right, and I wonder how visible they're going to be when they're set down, if they automatically are a little bit camouflage, if you want to put them in like the corner of a bush, so if they're not running on a path and they're running through the woods, they can get hit with the trap. Who knows if it stuns them, who knows if they're stuck for a while, if it does any permanent damage after.
Right. Yeah, it seems like something like in Siege, for example, like Rainbow Six Siege, when you get caught in like the frozen trap, or the frost trap. I imagine something like that. So you probably had to get help from a counselor. There's some unanswered questions there.
Right.
Also, does it look exactly the same as the same trap that like the counselors use? Can Jason now pick up traps that counselors place, to refill his traps?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, so it's little things. So I'm sure there will definitely be more information surrounding that strategy coming soon from the game directly. But hey, we did drop, or the first ones to drop that it's there. Okay,
Yeah.
so now let's go into the question that everyone remains asking since it's currently April 3rd, the release date. Now,
As of right now.
there's no release date. Okay, at this exact second. I'm telling you, every time we do a podcast, the next day, Wes drops news. Every time. It kills me. Wes drops news. Now the 30-day thing, now once they have the release date, it's about 30 days. It's not exactly 30 days, okay? We need to clarify that. So it's not, set in stone that it needs to be 30 days.
Right, and they answer tweets all the time because they're awesome, and they always say, we're still on track for that fall or early 2017, that April 2017.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like April is still what's going on.
And at April 1st at midnight, they took down the backer kit officially.
Yep, backer kit is officially done, which means if you wanted that Savini skin, it's goner. It's goner. There are some people that have extra codes, and they'll be giving away their Savini skins. Look into that. We don't. I wish we would have thought about that.
Yeah.
We definitely could have packed those up a little bit. But yeah, so if you can't get the Savini skin anymore, so the pre-order details, those things are gone. The pre-order exclusives are gone. But you will very soon, like I'm talking very soon, probably by the time this episode is out, you should be able to pre-order on Xbox, PS4, and Steam directly.
Right.
No more going through their website, that just tells you we're that much closer. Mm-hmm. On top of that, we did get a rating this week. We officially rated them for mature. What do you expect? So yeah. It's looking good. It looks like we're still on set for April.
We're close.
I'm still predicting May 2nd. My dream said May 2nd. So keep that in mind that I'm going to be right. I'm okay if it's not April, just if it's May 2nd.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's your big Friday 13th game update. Let's go ahead and move on to killer questions. Today we have 2 questions for Killer Questions, and our first one comes from Adam Wilson, and he said, what would be your top 3 Easter eggs you'd love to see in Friday the 13th the game, as well as our top 3 characters from the films as DLC? Now, when it comes to Easter eggs, Gunmania they're such big fans that every Easter egg that I'd want to see, they already nailed.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's not worth really saying something that's already involved in the films. I would say something from other horror films would be cool. So if we could see, let's see, a Nightmare on Elm Street, like a Freddy Krueger glove would be cool to see in the game. The Hellraiser puzzle box would be cool to see in the game. The Necronomicon from Evil Dead would be cool, but that's in the virtual cabin, so they already nailed that one.
Yeah.
And-
I'd say something like Michael Myers related, either like The Mask, just sitting in a corner maybe,
Yeah, or anywhere. There's
or a bloody kitchen knife just sitting out separate from everything else, and you will know that it is a direct reference to Halloween.
Yeah, or something that says like Haddonfield, or like, and you're at the getting at the end of the road in the cabin. This is like Haddonfield this way, or Crystal Lake this way. You know, like stuff like that would be cool. So yeah, I think referencing different movies within the game would be cool. Of course, without pushing copyright.
Yeah.
You know, they're already playing with fire in the first place. You know, so as for top 3 characters from the Friday the 13th films, we'd like to see. I think it comes down to Adrian King, as in Alice from the first Friday the 13th, of course.
Yeah.
Tina from Friday the 13th Part 7. Of course, that one gets a little more complicated because she has Carrie-like abilities. But the Carrie versus Jason combo is cool in the first place.
Yeah.
So she'd have to be straight up like a Tommy Jarvis character, like something.
Exactly. If you had the choice to pick them, everyone would pick them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do it. Maybe they implement a draft where you draft your different counselors and it's just completely random, or maybe her powers aren't anything really special.
Yeah. Now, as for the last one, see, this is where it starts getting tougher. There's a whole bunch of options here. I actually, in all legitimacy, I think it'd be cool to see Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2, especially because the whole display of his mom's head and the sweater and the table and the bodies around the table, that's clearly in the game. We've seen it several times. Having Ginny be involved in the way of killing Jason would be cool. But yeah, I mean, any characters would be cool, and all of them. Roy. Does Roy count for Friday the 13th Part 5? Can we get Roy? Is that a separate DLC character? That'd be cool to have Roy.
And maybe not direct characters per se, but maybe we get a counselor that is like clearly supposed to be Freddy Krueger with the sweater,
like a sweater.
and a fedora.
Yeah, just they already, that's the thing when we answer this question as characters we want to see from movies, we're already getting, the counselors may not have the names of the characters in the movies, but they look very similar. And that's extremely intentional. But yeah, that's probably the top 3 we'd want to see. It's a tough question.
Right.
Anybody I'd be okay with. All right, let's move on to our next question, which comes from David Charpentier. Hope I didn't butcher that name. Why do you guys think studios keep overcomplicating simple horror formulas? As in parentheses, Friday the 13th. It's for real. It comes down to this generation. People from this generation just can't be satisfied with old school horror. I mean, for example, I'm gonna make fun of my girlfriend here. When I showed my girlfriend Psycho for the first time, she hated it. She couldn't handle black and white.
Yeah.
couldn't handle being black and white. Couldn't handle the pacing of it, or I've seen people laughing, like just laughing their asses off at the shower scene. One of the best horror scenes of all time,
Yeah.
best death in a horror film of all time. So, this generation just doesn't respect what old school horror is. So these studios are trying to amp things up, and taking an old school film, an old school concept, and trying to bring it to this generation is extremely difficult. And so they're like, all right, let's up the ante. Let's think of something more complicated, something that'll bring a twist to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw with the Friday the 13th script, which we did cover. We discussed the entire script. Click right there if you want to check it out. So yeah, they just start overcomplicating things, and it's really just to try drawing in this teen generation. And that's their audience. That is going to be their audience for the most part.
Yeah.
You have your hardcore horror fans that are older, and then you have the teens that are going date night movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the main issue with it. That and studios are just lazy, cash grabs. So they just throw the first thing they get.
Hitting on the head.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. If you would like to submit a question for Killer Questions, head over to Twitter. You can submit either a video or a text question like this with hashtag #SlashingCast, and you could be featured on Slashingcast. We'd love to answer your questions. It's a good time. Let's go and move on. Our next topic of the day, of course, it's got to be it. It's got to be it. The first official trailer finally came out, and my goodness, it was awesome.
I probably watched it 20 times.
Right, and
Easy.
we've had a reputation of butchering trailers recently, especially if you head over to the MWM Project. We literally have a whole rant on the Justice League trailer. Now, we were nervous for it because, all right, you had the 2-part thing coming out, which we understand, but it was just a little nerve-wracking because of that. And then remakes are tough. It's tough, but it makes sense for a remake. 100% makes sense to me for a remake, and it looks like they nailed it on the head.
Oh, yeah.
instead of, I mean, it is very similar, I will say, so far to the original.
Right.
But-
and Stephen King being on board makes
Yeah.
makes us feel a little better.
So I mean, like we said before, that should tell you that one, it's close to the book. They're staying really close to the book, and it seems like they upped the horror perspective in the book
Yeah.
up quite a bit. What I thought was interesting in the trailer though is we don't hear Pennywise say a single word.
Right.
Not one.
Right.
We hear a lot of you can float too.
That chills, man.
Yeah.
That whole the last like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, chills.
Now, what everybody wanted to see from this trailer was, of course, was the sewer scene, was the boat going down into the sewer, and yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It is damn near shot for shot the same as the original.
There is a video on YouTube of a side-by-side comparison of scenes from the original and scenes from the trailer. And wow.
Yeah, they are very similar, but I will it's so hard to find a balance between we want to have a remake, but we want to change things. But then if you change it too much, fans hate it. If you keep it too close, fans hate it. I will say it seems like they're just kind of tossing out the original film and focusing more closely on the book. Okay, which I think they absolutely need to do, and that explains the part 1 and part 2 aspect of it in the first place. There's some little things that happen in this trailer that people are asking questions about. Like, for example, when in the sink where the blood shoots up at her, it's black blood in the trailer, and everyone's like, "Why? Why is it black?" Now that is 100% MPAA. They could not have red in the trailer to release it to all audiences.
Right.
But yes, in the film it is red. Okay, just so to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great, man. It really does. This is a ray of hope for our top 10 anticipated horror films.
Right. Our top 10 anticipated horror films, half of them have been canceled. Half of them have just been awful.
Yeah.
And a couple have not. One has not come out yet. Or two. And it was our number 2 anticipated, and right now it looks
Yeah.
so good.
I would say if this trailer was out before we made that list, it'd be number 1.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's the first good horror trailer we've seen in a while, and it's a first good horror remake trailer I think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. So yeah, it looks great. Can't wait to see more of it. I will also, on top of that, the sinister type projector thing is terrifying to me. Now that's also something that we saw in the original film, but not nearly to that degree.
Right.
This was 10 times scarier.
Right. I literally was just like, no. I knew it was coming. I was like, no.
Yeah. But like I said, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the trailer, make sure you go check it out. Link is in the description. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you've read the book. I think the movie's going to be great. I really do. I think if you like the book, I think you will like the movie. Well, let's hope. Please.
Please.
God, I just want to get one right this year. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. That is Annabelle Creation. Now, we got our first official trailer. A long time ago, we got a teaser that, now there's a little bit glimpse of that scene in the official trailer. But yeah, it was just her daughter twitching and cracking and bones cracking. That's all we saw in the first teaser.
Right.
Now we got an official trailer. And honest to God, it looks way better than the original Annabelle did.
Yeah.
Now, true fans, long time watchers who used to watch MWM Project, we talked about the Annabelle trailer when it first came out, and I feel like at the time I was one of the first ones to say that it's garbage. It looks so bad to me, and called it. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was an awful movie. Very cheap scares, nothing earned. Just awful. Awful.
Right.
It was very B-movie-ish, especially when it came to the trailer. Just poor editing and poor judgment in general. This one, on the other hand, Annabelle Creation, I will say they stepped away from the true story element of it, and I think that was a great idea.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can tell about the Annabelle doll. I mean, if the true story element of it, we already pretty much covered in The Conjuring.
Right.
And
right.
so if you're going to do standalone films, step away from that true story element, which they do. They add this backstory that is the creator of the Annabelle doll. And, that they let he makes this doll and then he brings in his daughter, who he thinks is his daughter, at least. Not sure where that's going to go. But they let their daughter Spirit, who died, got hit by a car, let their daughter's spirit into the doll.
Yeah, can I just say, from that trailer, like, it was just like our daughter was taken too soon, and then you just see the quick clip of the daughter getting hit by the car, and I jumped. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, Jesus.
They're really gonna show that there? Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess they kind of have to get people drawn in. You can definitely tell where this any aspect of based on a true story kind of goes out the window. We see a scene. I don't want to spoil it too much, but we see a scene in that trailer where like she's in her wheelchair, and all of a sudden this huge just figure just like takes her wheelchair and starts pushing her down a hill. I'm like, I told myself, I'm like, is that a dream? I bet that's a dream she has in the thing,
So I mean that's they're 100% stepping away from the true story element, which is
might help them out.
yeah, it's a good thing ultimately. So now while we are saying this trailer is okay, there are still some clear things that make me nervous. For example, the jump scares are very evident, and they're very cheap and stupid from what we're seeing in the trailer. For example, we're looking at the daughter, at least the spirit of the daughter, and we're watching a reflection in the window. All of a sudden, she turns around. She's got this like really demonic black face. Things like that make me nervous. I'm all for jump scares if they are earned. And I'm talking with proper suspense and cinematic techniques to build there. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go watch any James Wan film. Not produced by James Wan like this, but actually directed by James Wan. He knows what he's doing when it comes to that and building suspense. So, I mean, it seems like there are some clear jump scares spread out through this film.
We might have even saw like half of them, maybe a third of them in this trailer.
Yeah, which is another thing that kind of sucks. If you are one of those people that love jump scares and you just go to get that big burst of bass and music, you probably just saw most of them.
Yeah.
So that's too bad. Yeah, Annabelle 2.
It doesn't suck.
It doesn't
This trailer
suck.
doesn't suck.
Right, but it's not James Wan director film. Like, it's not one of those, but it's not bad. Annabelle 2, it punches it kicks the hell out of the first Annabelle so far. I'll say that.
100%.
So yeah, let's hope we get something way better. The Conjuring franchise, let's not ruin what is the Conjuring. Yeah. Nice. Annabelle. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. This one hits me real deep, real back at home here. Buffy. You all right? The Buffy reunion is going on, okay? Now, later this week on the MW Project, we discussed the fact that Joss Whedon, who is the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is directing Batgirl, so make sure you go check that out on Wednesday. But let's take a step back, okay, to where it all began. Okay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is currently celebrating its 20-year anniversary. So, yeah, let the reunions begin, right? Now, they have been featured practically everywhere this week, including People Magazine and EW.
Yeah, and when speaking with the EW, Buffy creator Joss Whedon discussed the idea of reviving the show by saying,
Quote,
I've been trying deliberately to move forward and do something a little bit different. But yeah, the great thing is everybody looks great, and the other great thing is the show is about growing up. If we did it with these guys, they'd be the age they basically are. They'd probably play a little younger because they can do that. But yeah, you see somebody going through their life at a different stage. It wouldn't be like, I can't believe we're still in high school. I wear Depends.
Yeah, so this is an interesting quote in general from Joss. He's back on board, which is cool. It's cool that someone, especially as big as he's made it, Joss is the director. He was director of The Avengers. He's directing Batgirl. He's doing fine in his career, and the fact that he was willing to go back to a show that is cheesy from the '90s, that's really just has a cult following. It's nothing special. Like, I don't want to say that. It's special to me. It's special to me, right?
It's not that series. It's not that 9 out of 10 series. It's
right.
It's not that great storytelling. This great, amazing. You need to watch it. Well, you do need to watch it, but
You do need to. If you haven't, you need to watch it.
but it just has this huge cult following almost.
Yeah.
Because of the nostalgia.
Yeah, the nostalgia sits around Buffy is unbelievable. Okay, so the fact that Joss is even willing to go back and do it, do something else to bring it back is insane. Now, most of the main cast is on board as well, but there's always got to be one. There's always got to be one that ruins it, and of course, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar who does play Buffy. So obviously, you can't really do it without her, huh? Not Buffy, but Sarah Michelle Gellar, she straight up just said no. This is a quote from her, okay? After saying no, she's like, I'm sure the fans are incredibly disappointed to hear that answer, but I think they'd be more disappointed if we created something and it didn't live up to the expectation. And I love that it can live in comic form and graphic novels. Why? Come on, man. Like, it's not a bad time in her career where she's at. She just runs a bakery, right? She's just making cupcakes, right? You know, I don't know what's Freddie Prinze doing too. She's married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
He's streaming on Twitch.
Yeah,
He's streaming video games.
This is a great opportunity for her.
I think if they ran a Kickstarter, if this was crowd-funded, and maybe she saw the amount of people that are on board for this film or this revival, I think if the money's there, she would come.
To clarify, I wasn't making fun of her bakery. I love her bakery. She does some great stuff. But I'm saying, like, she's not working within the industry anymore, and she hasn't in a while. And it'd be this is such a good opportunity for her to come back. And then, you know, the fans would love to see it. Even just for a season, Fuller House us. Fuller House, that's okay.
Well, Fuller House is 2 seasons.
I know now, but but Fuller House is totally fine. Did you go ahead and bring it to Netflix or something?
Bring it to Netflix for 1 season. We don't need the we want the Fuller House version. We don't want rated R, F-bombs, anything. Just give us 1 more season. And if we like it, and maybe if she likes it, we'll want to do more.
And then since Angel has his own show, which ended in a way that could keep going, right? There's some unanswered questions there. There's definitely things to discuss that could definitely lead to another show, and it'd be great to see that happen. I mean, you could even have the aspect of her having a daughter or something like that ends up becoming a Slayer. Her sister is still involved. I mean, Angel, Spike. There's just so many options for a show, and the fact that most of the cast, except for her, really is on board, it hurts a little bit.
I mean, maybe she's content with her life out of the spotlight now.
I can see. I respect that. I really do.
Yeah.
1 season.
But then again,
is it gonna kill you? 1 season. You know, like I said, I respect that. It's just we all want to see it so bad. And you know, bring Freddie Prinze into the show. Hell, she can even be married to Freddie Prinze. There's nothing that really clarifies there's something that really clarifies exactly who she ends up with. So we could totally rock the Freddie Prinze coming in. I mean, he looks similar to the guy that plays Angel. He could do. No, that guy plays Angel's on board, and he still looks great, by the way. They all look actually pretty great, which is Josh makes that point. They all look pretty great. So they could definitely play younger roles themselves as well. Not high school like he said. Don't push it that far. But yeah, they could definitely still play younger roles. They all look pretty good.
Definitely.
So yeah, you're running out of time. So now's the chance to make Buffy happen. 20 years is a perfect time.
Please.
But yeah, no matter what, happy 20-year anniversary to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Netflix, screw you for taking it off. A little upset about that.
They just got rid of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an April Fool's prank. Like an early April Fool's prank. They're like leaving April 1st. All these great shows, and Buffy was on there.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Son of a bitch. I was in the middle of it again. I was on season 4, and they took it off. All right, man. So everyone go tweet at Sarah Michelle Gellar. Let her know that you want to see Buffy. But yeah, that's going to be the end of Slash and Cast today. Editor, roll that outro. Hey, you. Thanks for watching this episode of Slash and Cast. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and click that box right down there to check out last week's episode.
Also, if you want to check out the film the fans are calling the best fan film of all time, make sure you click that box right down there to check out our Friday the 13th fan film.
While you're at it, click that circle right there to subscribe to our channel. Never miss a video again.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.